G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the southeast side of the map, we've got Kanoki, who is playing in the color blue, playing the English for us today. And on the opposite side of the map, spawning in on the red team, it's going to be Crackety, who is playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Going to be opening up with just a villager into the prelate and then followed by a couple more villagers. No double scout opening for either player at this stage. Now, I will state that this is the public update preview. You can tell because over on the left-hand side, you can see we've got our villager queue, our production queue, and now you can see Wheelbarrow's also in the queue coming through for Kanoki. So very nice little opening for him there. Going for a very quick wheelbarrow. So I will note that, wow, look at the macro coming out here from Kanoki. So the English have recently been buffed. So you might be wondering exactly how that is. Now, obviously, this is the public update preview. So English got plus 50 wood. So Kanoki has taken that, because normally you'd only start with 150 wood. He's taken that and he's gone, well, I'm going to take that 150 wood and then I'm going to use 50 of it for wheelbarrow. And then I'm going to mine another 50 gold, get my wheelbarrow in, and you can see he's out here chopping. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually just stops at 200. He might gather up more and then just, you know, he might just walk out over here. Interestingly, gone for the mill next to the town center instead of over on the berries as well. I guess one variation would be that you could actually just put the mill right here. And then I'm assuming he's going to move these 5 villagers over up to the berries here. Once he gets to 200, there we go. Or sorry, not to the berries, but rather to food. And that's exactly what he does, but actually just going to be going to chop a tree instead. So look at this, like a little bit of interesting timing here from Kanoki. He's really going, this is a very complex build order. I'm going to be honest with you guys, but we'll take a look now over at Crackety, see what he's up to. Doesn't look like anything too crazy. 5 villagers on gold. Actually, I take that back. That's quite crazy. That's a lot. Beautiful new prelate button here as well. You're able to see all of your prelates, and you can see them blessing, and he's going to get in a couple of sheep, and now still doing this. Look at this. This is actually wild. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Look how much he's investing in the first age. Early wheelbarrow and farm. So this makes sense. This is 100% why you would want to do this. So he's actually just going on early farms, I think, and he's probably just transitioning over. So each farm is going to cost 37, which means that you can actually get 30. Technically, you should be able to get 4 farms out of this single tree. If he's doing this, which I would assume so, because it's going to be 150, so he'll bring that back. He'll have 75 wood in the bank. At least he should, hypothetically. 76. All right, we'll call it 76. Instead, just drops down a lumber camp instead, but could have actually put down 2 more farms. But you might be wondering, okay, why the heck would you bother going farms this early? Great question. It's all about food preservation and keeping your food alive. Now, when I say alive, I'm talking quite literally. It's about these little bad boys right here, the sheep. And so the longer you can make these last, then the less farms that you have to add later. So if you add farms earlier, basically it means these 2 villagers, instead of eating out of the sheep, are actually going to be eating off the land, you know, the beautiful land. But Kanoki's done a great job of finding all of these sheep, but already you can see that he's really investing a lot in the second age. Typically but playing as the English, you would be a very aggressive opening player. Typically, like playing up against the Holy Roman Empire as well, you'd be looking to apply pressure onto their wood line, try and get them off gold, but obviously Crackety's got a pretty good gold back here, nice and safe away, so we'll look to see how he plays it. When it comes to relics, he is going to be very happy with his relic spawns. He's got 1 close one. Kanoki's got a close one as well, and then the other 3 are actually, you know what, this is a very even relic spawn. A lot of people would look at that and say, oh, it's very favored towards Crackety. Nope. It is very even because they're split perfectly through the middle. So well played by them. Now we see the Council Hall coming up from Kanoki. But it's interesting to see how the early English build order is changing and evolving, and now we can see that he is bringing out even more farms at this point. So look at this. We're talking about 4 minutes into this game and he's already on 6 farms at this point. So he is really going ham. But keep in mind, it obviously comes at a cost, and that's early aggression. You can see if your enemy scouts this out and sees, oh, he's at 4 minutes 45 and he's still only, you know, 2/3 of the way up, only half of the way up really, then it's, you know, it gives me a little bit more space to play around. Apologies, just there, giving you guys a bit of a black screen. But yeah, from Crackety's perspective, he's just going to be able to put down a stable here. He's going to anticipate that obviously there's going to be longbowmen coming, so going with the Council Hall. So we'll see how he plays it, what he looks to do, but I really wouldn't be surprised if we actually start to see English players going for a heavier Age 1, just because the men-at-arms are actually pretty decent at keeping enemies off certain resource lines. Now, when it comes to wood, you wouldn't be able to stop them from here. When it comes to the berries, you'd probably get them off the berries. When it comes to the gold, you would almost definitely get them off the gold. But now we see a blacksmith going to be coming down. Is in the line of sight of Kanoki here, so probably knows he's looking to get +1 pierce. And then play a bit more defensive. Now we've got the barracks coming out, and what a beautiful opening right here from Kanoki. I love the fact that despite being so early, he's got 6 farms out, so very smart move there from Kanoki. But the new English early game is looking very strong, and now you can see he's just going into that standard play, going straight into longbows from here. Still scouting out his enemy, pulled back a couple of sheep here, so not doing too bad for himself. And he's going to continue adding in farms, I would expect. But note that he's not going past the mill. Obviously knows that his enemy has started with a stable. So it means that there's always the potential risk of an enemy coming in and doing some damage on the gold mine. But there's no villagers out there. Wants to keep all of his villagers underneath the town center nice and safe. So very nice job from Kanoki in doing that. And now we can see he's actually rallying out towards the gold mine as well. Going to be looking to spot out the enemy scout. Now we spot from Crackety. You can see he's got 2 horsemen in the queue. Also going for an archery range now. So looking to mix things up. You can see multiple horsemen now coming out here. 1, 2 so far. And he's got 2 more in queue. Also got the archers in queue. So looking to play it out in feudal a little bit. Normally this is what you do like to see from the Holy Roman Empire players. If they do stick too much in age 2, sorry. If they go too quickly up to age 3, they're not going to have the power to actually take the relics on the map against the English. So typically you would expect that they would try and fight for a little bit in age 2, but Kanoki really just hanging out in his base at the moment, not really focusing too much. But I got to say, I just love this opening from Kanoki, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see players do this a bit more. It's a little bit greedy, but at the same time, you can see that there are real economic benefits to be had from it. You can see how much sheep he's got. Now we spot those horsemen coming in, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, that typically you would want to... Oh, Kanoki bring those spears back. He might lose a villager here if he's not careful. Is he going to be sending this one in? Doesn't look like it. Wolf getting in on the action as well. Scout just scouting out over on the left flank. Manages to come back to the town center. He's going to be pushing it away. Horseman doing a fair bit of work, but not really doing too much. You can see that English town center. Now, Kanoki making a bit of a mistake right here. Don't send out a villager that's already damaged back to be damaged again. Ideally, you want to keep that bad boy near the town center. So trade it out for this one right here or this one right here. You don't want it going out to the gold mine like this, because one more hit and that bad boy goes down. So keep that in mind for all you players playing along at home. Mill still going up, and look at the houses that are coming in. Beautiful base building here from Kanoki. It is absolutely awesome to see beautiful bases being built. That's a lot of bees. That's a lot of a bold alliteration right now. Now Spear coming out. Don't block. Don't block. He blocked him. He kind of came around the edge there, but I don't think there was any real way he was going to be able to get out of that. But Kanoki's still yet to drop down any more farms. Just sticking with 3-6 for the moment. Now going to drop an outpost out here on the gold mine. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops a second mill, probably like right, I don't know, somewhere around here. We'll have to see how he does it, but you'd probably want to tessellate. I think that's the right word, tessellate. Maybe, I think it's the right word, but I don't think it's the correct use of it, because you can see how he's got the farms. We'll have to see how he places it, because he's quite good when it comes to that kind of stuff. And now Crackety already going to early farms. I don't like this from Crackety at all. As the Holy Roman Empire, obviously you are inevitably going to be going onto farms, but typically when you've got this much ability to open up, I really would have loved to have seen a professional scouts opening from him. It just makes a lot of sense. Going up against the English probably aren't going to be contesting their own hunts. If you want to just get 3 or 4 of the 3 or 4 scouts out, they'll be more than enough. But very, very early on the farms, I will say. So both players really looking to invest, and now outposts coming down. So both players playing very defensively at this point in time, wanting to keep all those villagers safe. And look how Crackety's eating into this wood line here. So you can see that if Kanoki was to come from the south or come from the north, or come from anywhere really, he wouldn't be able to spot out these villages. He would need to have a very good line of sight. And so great job by Crackety to do that. I always try and eat into my forest like this, like the way that he has done right here. So very well played by him. And also a great arc and chapel that he's got here, covering both the stone. Got his mills back here and also got all these villagers. But now we see the push beginning to come out, and Kanoki really making a bit of a late age push. What is going on with these bows? Look at the bows. These are like Bose headsets right here. Manages to pop those bad boys back. Okay, they're all good now, but Jeez Louise, they were just absolutely crazy. And now manages to spot these villagers out on the line. It looks like he's going to be able to fire down. Townsend are going to be doing a bit of work here. He manages to chop his way through, a bit of a smart move, and at the same time, Crackety, I think he might be trying to age up to the next stage. You can see he's got enough gold to do it. And now emergency repair comes out, so a little bit of a, I'd say a little bit of a mistake, but not really. Typically, you'd want to bait out. So if you've got two, you would want to bait out the second building, typically. But that's okay. That's all right. It's a minor matter. But now, continuing to add in more units, we see that he's actually switching into Men-at-Arms at this point. Now, Men-at-Arms recently buffed up in the new patch, so get an extra armor when they are in, when they are just early. So I'm pretty sure they're early. Yeah, he's already got the Vanguard upgrade for them, or rather the early upgrade. So they've gone from Vanguard up to early. So I think the Vanguard ones got buffed. But now we can see a couple of idle villages here. He's going to drop down an outpost, extend that network of castle out a little bit further, but just give him that defensive capability. He's got enough units here if he wanted to. He could absolutely clean this up. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that he's not doing that. But now it looks like up towards the north, the push continues happening. It looks like a bit of a defense on the back line as well. Town center getting in on the fire. No villagers needing to fire off, but loses 2 villagers under the town center. I'm not sure exactly what Kanoki's doing. He's going to wake up right now. Villager almost getting focused down there. You can see that bad boy's down to about 5 health. I think it was a girl, actually. Yeah, she was. So he's going to be able to chase that one away. Men-at-Arms managed to push this away. And I really like this English position coming out from Kanoki. It's a smart move. A lot of people don't realize that where the real English power isn't actually in the early feudal stage. It's actually in the late feudal stage. So you might think that, okay, like, let's get the longbows out there. The problem is if you get the longbows out there nice and quick, your enemy counters you, gets a couple of horsemen or a camel archer or something like that out really quickly, then there is going to be trouble. But you can see this kind of timing that Kanoki is pushing with right now. This is a really good timing, a very decent timing, because he's going to be looking to switch into Men-at-Arms shortly as well. Well, I say shortly, but he's already got the Men-at-Arms out. But I wouldn't be surprised if we really start to see these bad boys getting massed up. You can see he's going for his upgrades here from the blacksmith. Already got the siege engineering. Starting to build up a fair amount of spears. Could actually hide the Men-at-Arms inside here, but that's always a great use of the battering ram here as well. Avoids your units getting picked off. And now second battering ram going to be coming down for Kanoki. He's definitely playing quite aggressive, and beautiful macro coming out from Kanoki as well. Everything under 200 resources. Very nice from him. Probably going to need to add another house in shortly. But other than that, I mean, the new English is looking very strong. Keep in mind the old English, for anybody playing along at home and knows about the win percentages. So there's a great website called AoE4 World. You can Google it, and it will tell you all the win percentages for all the civilizations. And the English consistently, no matter what the tier of player is, whether that's, you know, 1,000 ELO or whether that's 1,600 plus, English is always the lowest win rate, and it's by a mile as well. I'm talking like 7 or 8%, like I think 42, 43%, something like that. It's very, very low. And the buffs here that have come through are looking to address that. So I know a lot of people playing along might see the English and be like, oh, they're so difficult to deal with and stuff like that. Well, they are, but they also lose like 60% of the time. But now we see those Men-at-Arms coming through. Kanoki looking to make ends meet up towards the north here. You can see that the emergency repairs is about to finish up, but Crackety's going to have a difficult time holding. Crackety ideally needed to find a window up to the next stage. You can see he's really looking to invest in the second age now, really committing to fighting it out. Also bringing out his own Men-at-Arms, the early Men-at-Arms coming out, the +1s on both sides, it seems. You can see the +1 ranged attack also coming in here. And now Longbow is going to be doing very effectively against these compared to archers. But at the same time, they get that extra 1 attack a little bit slower though. But keep in mind that extra 1 attack makes all the difference, because you've got 4 armor here versus 7, and then 4 armor over here versus 6. So you're basically doing 50% more damage as a longbow, and that really enables you to clean these units up a lot faster. And now we see the battering rams beginning to move in. Crackety under a lot of threat here. This is not looking pretty for him. But I gotta say, it all comes back to the way that this English build order started. And you can see he still hasn't added any more farms at this point. Really just sticking to what he's got. So really interesting playstyle coming out from Kanoki here. Just goes for the early 6 farms, and then that is it. Battering ram going to be going down if it's not careful. Villager's going to be looking to trade out here. Manages to get 1, but all the rest are going to be able to get inside that town center. And now focusing down the early Men-at-Arms. You can see it's taken its time, but it does go down slowly. Another battering ram going to be coming up shortly, it seems, underneath the town center. But really, at this point, it's kind of looking like Kanoki is going to be able to finish him off, but at the same time, it looks like Crackety might hold. You can see he's just got so many idols at the moment. 1,000 wood in the bank. It never feels good when you've got that much wood in the bank in this position. But now You can see up towards this. Ideally, like, I just grab 8 of these villagers here and just drop a mill or something. Go up here, go up, grab some food, grab some gold. You know, just try and find other avenues to get your resources in. But now it looks like he's going to be pushing in underneath the town center once again. You can see the golden. Look at the golden tube socks on the German archers. They're just absolutely awesome. Great animation, great technique right there, fellas. Good job. Keep it up. But yeah, I mean, looking at the way that Kanoki's playing this and the fact that he's not really going for spears, just going for mass men-at-arms, it kind of leaves him open to a French player or a Rus player to be counted in the second age. Obviously, if he's playing up against those two, he's going to be looking to mix in a lot more spears. But in this situation, I really like the adaptation with the men-at-arms. It just looks and feels really, really strong. Still yet to see any melee upgrades coming through, but now we see the farms coming down. And you can see that Kanoki definitely means business. He has just dropped down a huge amount of farms. We can actually click on the villager. You can see 16 farms for him. Compare that over to his opponent right now. Kraken's sitting on 18 farms, and those are full-price farms, so those are very expensive farms for him. But now Krakeny looking to draw it out, and you can see he's dropping down even more farms over here, despite having deer right up here. He actually did scout that out, but maybe he didn't. Maybe it's just fallen off the map or something for him. It's always a little bit unfortunate when that happens, because he could be using that as a wonderful resource. The new deer mechanic is really, really good. So for anybody wondering about the new deer mechanic, essentially you always carry back the 25 food. So before it used to be 10 food that you carried back. Now you will always carry back 25. And why is that good, you might be wondering? Well, let's say you stick a mill here. Okay, it means less trips out to this bad boy. So before it was like bang, 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 bang. Now it's like bang, 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 like that. You know, the bangs are a lot less. Let's just put it that way. It's exactly like your time in college. But now we can see that the battering rams, speaking of bangs, battering rams just coming in. Looking to do a bit of damage on this barracks. This is the final military production building here for Krakeny. If this goes down, Krakeny's out. Krakeny is out. He's good gamed. What is Krakeny actually doing at this point? Is Krakeny idle? Has Krakeny DC'd? Krakeny really just holding out at this point. Bloomery now coming through, the +1. Looking to get the +1 melee armor as well. Fitted leatherwork. And you can still see Kanoki just really just giving it to him at this point. I feel like he's forcing Kanoki. Yeah, he's not AFK. He's dropping down a stable. He's forcing Kanoki to fight this one. He's like, fight me. But, I mean, when it comes, like, if you wanted to play Farmville, you have 100% come to the right game. Krakeny, at the moment, he is absolutely farming up another level. 33 farms out for him. Has invested all of his wood into farms, probably needed to invest it into other areas because he's going to be running into insufficient amounts of wood very shortly, I suspect. You can see he's only got 59 wood in the bank right now. And look, guys, I mean, we'll just talk about your experience back at college. Insufficient wood were 2 words that would accurately summarize that. But, I mean, Ram Ranch, 2 other words that probably would have summarized that quite well. And now, beautiful little Vil Pop right there, looking to get in the front. Krakeny showing off his micro mechanics here. Emergency repair going to be coming out at the last second here. Looking to get that heal and repeal up. Heal and repeal? Heal and repair up. But now going to be forced back from this position. I don't know why he's not just fighting it down. I'd just be using the battering rams and still fighting it down. Keep everybody in there. Keep everybody under. Huge amount of vills up to the north here, though. 35. Let's check in with Kanoki, see where he's at. He's at 56. He is so far ahead, and he's looking incredibly strong. Look at all the villagers back here. He's actually looking to go up to the 3rd age as well, and that is probably going to seal the deal. I can't imagine that Krakeny would stay in the game. I still feel like, I don't know, do you guys think that there's any point to Krakeny really staying in the game at this point? Let's have a look at the scores. He's only 800 behind. I say only 800 behind, but that is a long... That is a lot of villagers, or a lot of points when you're talking about 1600 versus 2300. But now battering ram does go down for Kanoki, and villagers now going to be repairing. Krakeny really just trying to hold on. So looking back at this and looking at the way that Krakeny played, I think the most important thing for Krakeny was food source. So he didn't go professional scouts. So ideally he should have gone professional scouts. Even with 3 or 4 scouts, it would have been fine because he's got this hunt that he can pull from. He's got other hunts, like he's got this one here that he can pull from if he needs to. Obviously against English, it's going to be tough going into that, but there's a lot of food sources for him. He's got berries in the back as well, which he's scouted, and yet still decides to go into farms. And I can understand that playing as the Holy Roman Empire, that you might want to do that, but it's best to avoid doing that. It's best to avoid doing that before age 4, I would say. Once you get to age 4 and you got the villager printer out, then sure, go for it all you like. But until then, it probably makes sense not to. But now Kanoki reaching the castle age, obviously going up with the King's Palace there. You can see he's got it a little bit forward here. Going to be creating villages 2 at a time now, so he's going to be starting to grow even faster than his opponent can. and still continues to chase away those villagers. Crackety actually just... You can see Crackety's actually trying to get up to the next stage as well. So he thinks that if I can get up to the next stage and magically find a couple of relics, you can see he's actually selling out here. Yeah, he can actually sell and go to Regnet, or go to H3 with the Regnets right now, if he wanted. But even if he does, like, what relics does he know about? He doesn't know about this relic. He doesn't know about this relic. He knows about the relic in the middle. He knows about Kanoki's relic. He knows about this relic down here. So his two closest relics he doesn't actually know about. And instead he decides to go for the Burgrave Palace because he doesn't know where the other relics are. That's a feels bad moment, man. 32 vills for Crackety, though. I think he's going to need a lot more than this Burgrave Palace to actually do it. Did you guys know there's so many palaces for the HRE? So they've got, like... Let me just think. I guess this one's a chapel, but they have the Minework Palace in Age 1. Then they have the Regnitz Cathedral. Then they have the Burgrave Palace. Then they have the Palace of Swabia. Then they have the Palace of Defeat, which has just come out right there for Crackety. So good game going over to Kanoki, demonstrating some beautiful English opening right there. Let's go back towards his base. You can just see it right there. Absolutely gorgeous. So well played, Kanoki. Good game, fellas. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.